Hi guys, my name is Nobukumalo. Welcome to my show, and if you're coming back, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed but you've been here a couple of times, but if you haven't subscribed and this is your first time here, please click the subscribe button. It costs nothing. So today I want to talk about money, my relationship with money, my thoughts around money, my money value system, right? So I think a good place to start is, what does money mean to me? Like, what is my money value system? So I sort of have like a double barrel value system when it comes to money. So I'm going to start with the biblical one, and my biblical value system around money comes from Genesis chapter 12 verse 1 to 3, the first book of the Bible. Yeah, that's where it comes from. So I'm just going to read it here so that you guys know what I'm talking about. So it says, this is the Lord speaking to Abraham. So he says, "Go from your country, from your people and your father's household, to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all the peoples on the earth will be blessed through you." So that is my first value system when it comes to money. It's that God is the giver. God is the one who enables us to make whatever wealth or accumulate whatever wealth we have, and ultimately everything comes from him, everything belongs to him. So he blesses us, but it doesn't end there. You see, God says to Abraham that, "Go and I'll make you a great nation, and the people will be blessed through you." So that is where it comes in my biggest value system about money, is that I am just a vessel that God decides or chooses to use to bless others. So whatever it is that God gives to me is not mine alone. If anything, it's not even mine, but I'm just a channel that he has chosen to be able to take back, to take whatever he gives and to give to his people, because the mandate was that the people around you will be blessed through you. So he could have ended it saying that, "I'll make you a great nation, you'll be wealthy, and all that, you will be blessed, full stop." But the fact that he went a step further and said the people around you will be blessed through you is, for me, one of the things that I hold close to my heart when it comes to money, to say that whatever means that I have, and this is not to the detriment of my well-being, so if I don't have, but whatever means that I have, as far as possible, I need to make sure that it's working for the people who are around me. So I cannot afford to just accumulate wealth, and yet the people close to me, charity begins at home. We've heard that so many times, and yet the people close to me are in lack. So, and like I said, it's as far as I can go. You can never really give from an empty cup. So as far as possible, where it allows, I need to make sure that the lives of those around me are better, because God has blessed me financially with whatever he chooses to bless me with. And then my second value system around money comes from, well, I've always had this value system, but I think this book explains it well. So I'm just going to read a certain part of it. So it says, "The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. People want to become wealthier to make them happier. Happiness is a complicated subject because everyone's happiness is different. But if there's a common denominator in happiness, a universal fuel of joy, it's that people want to control their lives." And then this is where, this following part is what, summarizes everything beautifully. It says, "The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, is priceless. It is the highest dividend money pays." And that also just fully explains my second value system around money. To me, money is an enabler, right? Money allows me to have control of my time. Money allows me to be able to do the things that set my heart on fire, that don't necessarily bring financial gain, but make me happy in other ways. To me, money buys convenience, money buys ease, and with time I've learned to let the money work for me, right? So I remember posting up on my Instagram the other day that one thing about me is that I will not hold back. I will pay for convenience. And that's the other advantage, that's the other benefit of money. It allows you to pay convenience so that you free up your time to do the things that really matter, because the other things that you have to do, can be taken care of if you just pay for them to be done in a certain way. So when I was thinking about this, I started thinking back to, you know, my teen years, and I realized that, you know, right from high school, I've always been a person who did not want to be broke, to not have a cent to my name. I would die. Like, so my parents would give me spending money, and I would make sure that I stretch it right to the end of the term, so that even on the holidays, even if there's nothing that I'm planning to do, I always have money. So I've always been that person who always has a dollar in their pocket. Like, I do not remember a time when I ever hit zero, like $0, because I have never wanted to be at a point where I have zero money at all. So how did I do it in high school? So I was always a hustler. So I remember I went to a school where we didn't eat meat, but I wanted my money to work for me. So I'm like, what is the best possible way for me to, you know, make money in this place? So what I used to do is that I used to like get the day scholars to go and like buy samosas, beef samosas in bulk, because remember there was no meat and people like meat. So I used to get them to buy beef samosas in bulk and then bring them to school, and then I would sell them in the dormitories, and that's how my money would multiply. And I remember from that money I managed to like buy my first touchscreen phone. There's a lot that I did with money that I made in high school. And then I told you guys in a video that I posted a few weeks ago about, you know, how to tell your story in an extraordinary way. I'll put it up here. When I went to university again, my parents did a great job. I always had spending money, but I always wanted my money to like make more money for me, because I never wanted to be in a position where the money that I had has depleted. So I always wanted money to keep generating and working for me. And I tell the story about how I found that there was a wholesale shop that used to like sell end of season, you know, sale clothes in bulk in wholesale prices, and then I would take that and then I would sell those clothes in Zim, and that way I always had money. So that has continued even up to now. Even now, right now, I'm in a place where like my job pays me well, and I don't even need to like have hustles, but I find myself busy, man. Like, I find myself always trying to start a hustle there and start a hustle here and there, you know, because I've always been a person who wants my money to work for me. I want to make sure that I have a constant stream of income, you know. Unfortunately, it doesn't always end up being a passive one. Sometimes I have to work hard at it, which is now kind of difficult, because now I have a formal job, and then trying to balance that with trying to make the side thing work also is usually sometimes hard. So sometimes like I'm just like, why am I even doing the side thing, you know, when I have a job that's taking care of me? But in general, I have always been a person who wants my money to, you know, multiply, to work for me and to grow itself. And then the other thing, linking to my first point about me being a vessel, is that I am such a giver, right? And it brings me so much joy. I am the person who, I will not hesitate to give towards a cause that I believe in. I will not hesitate to spend money on my loved ones. I'm the type of person who, like, if I like you, I want to buy you something, right? Like, that's just who I am. I am such a giver, and I've struggled with this a lot, because, you know, people usually expect that when you give them something, you expect something in return. So like I've had friends where I'm like, I buy them, it's their birthday or whatever, or I just thought of them, or I saw something nice and I thought of them, and then I buy it for them, and they're like, but it's not quite fair because, you know, I can't reciprocate. And I'm like, you guys don't get it. Like, it's not even about that. I could not care a bit if you never bought me anything. To me, giving is a love language, right? So if you're in my life and I love you, I like you, you're my friend, you're my partner, you're my family, I just want to give, and it brings me so much fulfillment. And I think maybe that comes from me understanding that, you know, the money is for us all to enjoy, to share. There is no, I don't find any joy in lavishing the luxuries of life, knowing that the people close to me are in lack. I find no joy in large gaps or disparities in terms of financial standings between me and the people in my life. I find no joy in having the people in my life stuck, unable to push their dreams because they don't have the means when I'm in a position to help. So I am such a giver, and it really just makes me happy. So to me, and I've noticed that I've never given and then had nothing. Like, maybe I give because I have excess, but sometimes I believe that I have excess because I give so much. So I like buying people gifts, and when I say give, I don't mean money in terms of like just money. Sometimes yes, money is needed, but I mean like even just gifts or experiences or stuff like that. I just love spoiling the people in my life, and I have never felt that out of giving I have been left with less or lack. I think God has just found a way to work things out for me. And the other thing that we're doing in my house is that we actually have a Benevolence Fund, which is a fund that we specifically set aside. So every month we put into that fund, and we try to identify a cause that we can give towards. And why we were intentional about having a benevolence fund is that it's easy to think there's nothing to give to us. There's no one has asked for money. There are no needs. But I've noticed that if you're intentional about giving, if you're intentional about identifying the people in the community that need help, if you're intentional about setting aside means to help those who are in need, you will always find people in need. I think even the Bible says that the poor will always be amongst us. Sometimes not necessarily the poor, but there will always be a cause to give towards. And unless you are intentional about putting money aside, setting aside some funds to say these are not ours, these are for the people around us, to bless the people around us, you might not identify those opportunities. And then a recent thing that I've come into, I think especially this year, is to spoil myself. As after I've made sure that the savings, the emergency savings, the giving, the taking care of family, and all those other things are done, I used to have the system of like, just even after all that is done and I've given or whatever, and I have like funds that are left over, I just used to like keep them a lot and be surveying things. But I have come into a space where I spoil myself these days. Like if there's something that I want and the money is there, I am going to buy it. And it doesn't have to be material. If there's something that I want, if there's a place I want to go, if there's something I want to experience, I'm now so intentional about spending the money to do that. Because I find that we work so hard, spend so many hours at work, slaving away, and then we get paid, and sometimes we don't even get to enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? And so we just keep accumulating money and then never enjoying it, but going through the motions and the stress of being employed and of being at a job each and every day, but never really fully enjoying the fruits of our labor. So it's a decision that I took to say, I will spoil myself. I will not hesitate to pay for convenience. I have outsourced a lot of things in this house, and I am not even ashamed of it, because outsourcing, like I said, paying for things to be done for you frees you up to have time to do the other things that matter to you. So I will not hesitate to spend on convenience. So yeah, that is my value system around money. And I don't know, what is your value system around money? Have you ever asked yourself what you believe about money? What your thoughts are about money, or do you just go through the motions? I don't know. But I think as a closing line, this is what I want to leave with you. If you forget everything that I said, because everything that I said was about what I believe in, but if there's something that I want to leave with you, it's this verse, which is Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18. I always try to remember this all the time. So it says, but remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms His covenant which He swore to your ancestors as it is today. The most important part for me there is that, but you shall remember the Lord your God, because it is He who gives the ability to produce wealth. Because I feel like sometimes we get to a point in life where we think it's our skills or our intelligence or our charm or all those other things that give us the ability to make wealth. But ultimately, the ability to make wealth all comes from God. Ultimately, the wealth itself comes from God, which is why, and God is so generous, because even after He has given us what is rightfully His, He only asks for 10% back, which is tithe. How generous can a person be? You would never give someone or lend someone money and then just say, pay me 10% back. You can keep the 90, but that is literally all that God asks for us. So God is the enabler, God is the giver, and as able as He is to give, He is very able to take. If we misappropriate whatever He has given us, we need to remember that we are stewards and we are God vessels, and that whatever He entrusts us with, He is going to demand a report for. I don't want to start preaching now, but remember even the parable of the 10 talents. God is going to require of you to give an account of how you have used the wealth, the intelligence, the gifts that He has given you. And we don't want to be found on the bad and unfaithful servant side of the story. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please continue to like, please continue to share, please continue to subscribe. The channel is really growing, it's amazing, and the engagement is great also. I enjoy that. So please subscribe, please share with your people, send the link. If you click down just after the subscribe button, just below there's a little share arrow button, so you can click on that, and then it will give you an option to copy the link, and you can just share on your socials or share with your people. But let's share the channel and help the channel grow. You have a lovely rest of the week, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.